It's a titty fruit, or which I think you know why it's called that. I wonder if YouTube is gonna censor my video or take this video down. Yeah, it's called titty fruit because it looks like a boob. It's also called nipple fruit. This particular one that I have just has this little teat here, and yes, I am tweaking a fruit right now. So it just has the one little nipple here. Some of them actually will have another 4 or 5 little protrusions off the side here. So it's sometimes called udder fruit because from this side it would actually look like an udder. I'm not sure if this is maybe not exactly that fruit, or if it's just underripe. I actually think it's underripe. I think that this, if it grew a little bit bigger, it would actually grow little protrusions out the bottom too. But as you see, it's kind of small. I think this is just a it just hasn't grown them yet. But this is kind of an interesting video because I can't eat this. This is actually highly poisonous. So if I were to eat this, I would probably die or get at least very, very sick. So I'm not going to eat it. But there is quite a lot to talk about. It's very interesting fruit. It's related to potatoes, tomatoes, and eggplants. It is part of the nightshade family. Now, I'm in Malaysia right now, and I've actually seen these around a little bit because Chinese New Year just ended, and this is considered a very auspicious fruit during Chinese New Year, especially during the year of the ox, because of how I said it can be called udder fruit. It's also called cowhead fruit or foxhead fruit because when it does have the protrusions on it, you look at it from the side, it kind of looks like it's got the face of an ox or a fox. So it's especially lucky if you have these hanging around during the year of the ox. People believe that it brings good luck. In China, people call it the 5-fingered eggplant because it'll have the little fingers out of it, and because I don't know the word, but the word finger in Cantonese and the word sun in Cantonese sound very similar. Because of that, people will actually keep these around the house in order to promote that they'll give birth to sons, because God forbid anyone should have a daughter. This also has the name Apple of Saddam, which, if you know your Bible history, Sodom and Gomorrah, all sorts of crazy stuff was going on, but it in the end, Sodom and Gomorrah burned down and was nothing but ashes. Out of the ashes, a big tree grew out and produced apples, the apples of Saddam. And when people would pick the apples, they would explode into dust and ash. So this fruit and some other fruits that are very closely related to this fruit are called apples of Saddam just because, they look appealing. They look like something that you can eat. They look like, especially since they're related to foods that you can eat too. Like you can eat a tomato, you can't eat this. It also maybe because it looks a little sexually appealing too. There's actually a fruit that grows in the Middle East that's even more aptly named the apple of Saddam because it's full of air and it explodes. So it explodes to disperse the seed. So when you reach for it, it can actually explode, and it is poisonous. I'm gonna open it just to show you what it looks like on the inside. I also am going to have to wash the hell out of my fingers after this because it is highly poisonous. I don't know exactly what happens, but I do know that some of these fruits of this family are actually fatal. So if you were to eat it, you could die. Not good, but I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Alright. So here it is. It's just like a hollow, very hollow cavity here with what looks like some sort of green gel and little dark seeds. Looks kind of like, well, maybe like a little bit like a passion fruit. I could tell you about the smell, maybe. It smells kind of, like a gourd or a pumpkin, something of that nature. It doesn't smell sweet or tasty at all. Just, yeah, I mean, although maybe it looks like something that might taste good from the outside because it's like a bright yellow fruit and everything. It doesn't really smell like much. So yeah, that's nipple fruit. I hope you learned something from this, that, you know, nature sometimes can be a little perverted and create things like this. If you think that this is perverted, you should look up lady fruit. What's interesting about the lady fruit is that when it's growing, it looks like a big purple... I'll put a picture on the screen. And then when it grows, it looks like a lady's... I'll put a picture of that too. So lady fruits are perverted in a lot of ways, but I say if lady fruits are the most perverse fruit in nature, nipple fruit is probably, I would give it second place, as far as I know anyway. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I have to say about this this fruit. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks.